Antiquity Unveiled, Jonathan M. Roberts. The most marvelous revelations of the 19th century concerning the origin of Christianity. Now it is a positive fact, especially noted by the learned Charles Francis Dupuis in his great work, The History of All Systems of Worship, that upon the door of the main entrance to the Church of Notre Dame at Paris is dedicated to the worship of Mary, the alleged mother of Jesus Christ, are delineated in the basso relievo of our series of ideas, alluded to by the Spirit, proportioning to be Ma Ming. They consist first of a series of 12 panels arranged around the outer margin of the door, corresponding with the signs of the zodiac, arranged in groups of 3, each corresponding with the 4 seasons. The panels of 11 of those signs contain each of the respective symbol representing it, to wit, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, etc. But in the squares corresponding with Virgo are the celestial or zodiacal Virgin. The symbol of a young woman is absent, and in its place is the figure of the sculptor himself at his work. The Virgin of the Zodiac, which should have occupied that panel, is placed in the large central panel of the door, holding in her arms an infant effigy or representation of the newborn son, which, according to all the so-called heathen systems of religion, were supposed to be born of the zodiacal Virgin at midnight at the winter solstice, an event which Christians celebrate in concert with the heathens of every hue or condition or savagery or civilization. At the present hour, the Church of Notre Dame, or Our Lady, stands on a site of a sacred grove of the ancient Gallic Druids, consecrated to the mother goddess of the northern nations, afterwards appropriated by the Roman conquerors of Gaul as the site of the temple consecrated to Venus. Venus traces that symbol in the sky. The Roman goddess of love and beauty, now consecrated to Mary, the Christian successor of some zodiacal Virgin Mother of the Sun. On the same door of this noted Christian church is another series of panels in which are arranged figures of men, denoted the different stages of each individual life on earth, the dress and garments of which denote the changes of the temperature of the seasons. The zodiacal trumps are kind of stages, and isn't the hermit a worker sort of figure? He's out there with his lamp, doing his thing. On the same door is still another series of figures showing the various rural occupations of the year. Similar devices, says Dupuis, ornament the doors of the Church of Saint Denis, also in Paris, showing beyond all question that the Christian religion is nothing more than the same old theological Monsieur Tonson of heathenism, come again in a Christian garb. In view of such facts as these, who can doubt that the pagan origins and nature of the Christian religion? We feel sure, as these spirit revelations are continued, that every possible doubt as to the point will be done away with. And I'm not so much for having my doubts removed with spirit mediumship, spirits speaking as if they're the shades of the dead. taking on the role of the shades of the dead. But we find that Christmas was celebrated in Mithric religions, certainly by about 3200 BCE, and Easter was celebrated 1,000 years prior. Same time of year, same basic underlying principle: Son of God, dying, Mother of God, doing without for meat for 40 days, various things like this. So why should we accept it as true this time in Christianity? What this Hindu spirit says as to the incarnation of the deity, the mediumistic character of the Buddhistic priesthood, their methods of selecting their priests and teachers, the spiritual origin of their religion and sacred writings, and indeed all that he says is worthy of the deepest consideration of all who desire to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth concerning the mutual relations of the world of mortals and the world of spirits. If they will give it this consideration, they will wonder more and more how such important information is given through the mediumship of an unlearned man, and why it has been so long withheld. We confess our own amazement as we proceed in our researches at the prospective store of knowledge that is soon to be poured in one unbroken flood upon the minds of thoughtful and intelligent people. As may be seen by the above comments, Mr. Roberts states that he had been unable to find any historical reference concerning Deva Bodhisatoua. Well, I guess my stomach doesn't only growl when it is hearing the mention of eating, but I knew that already. This was written by him July 2nd, MS 34. 2 years later, September 1st, MS 36, he records the following. The reader may judge of our surprise when, in searching for some historical reference concerning Ardilua of Babekra, 2 years after the communication of Deva Bodhisatoua was published in Mind and Matter, we came across the following account of the remarkable man whose spirit gave that grand explanation of the Buddhism of his time, which we translate from the French of Abel Remusat's work, Melanges Asiatic compiler. The 11th of the line of the patriarchs was Faunace, who was succeeded by Ma Ming, our celebrated Pusa, yeah. His name in Sanskrit was Deva Bodhisatoua. This one, who was of the order of the incarnate divinities, coming immediately after Buddha, has given into the whole class of gods of the second order the different names that he has received in the languages of the various Buddhistic people. The Hindus call him Bodhisattva, which signifies sensitive intelligence. The Tibetans have changed his name into Jianchhub, or Jianchhub Semspa. The Chinese have abbreviated it into Thausa, which is a very ridiculous misunderstanding. Some Chinese idolaters, and following them, many missionaries have given him the name of Goddess of porcelain. They have lavished most honorable titles on him, such as most intelligent, most victorious, omnipotent, most holy, of Buddha, born of his mouth. Now, because of the association with toilets and bathroom pictures, the reputation of porcelain has changed very much. We do not have at present to seek the allegorical sense of all these names, but it is very important to determine the age of the historical personage to whom they attributed them. For Bodhisatoua seems to have been one of the reformers to whom the Buddhist philosophy is most indebted. Georgi has given vent to a crowd of conjectures upon the subject. He takes Bodhisatoua for Samanakadam, or Buddha, and besides for a celebrated religious person in China in the 4th century after our era, under the name of Fu Thou Ching, and even for Scythianus Armanus. By reason of this error, he makes him live in the 3rd century of our era. I must confess that Chinese authors themselves differ upon the epoch of this celebrated man. Some make him live 300 years after the Buddha. Others make 600 years interval. Others still 800 years interval. But the book of Mahaya Weni is borrowed the succession of the patriarchs, cuts this difficulty, since it makes Bodhisatoua die in the 37th year of Hian Wang, 332 before Jesus Christ, or 618 years after the death of Chikya Mauni. He is born in the kingdom Apollo Ne, and received from the Thaunatche the deposit of the doctrine which he transmitted in the 13th patriarch named Kabimara. This one traveled in the west part of the Indies and delivered his body to the flames in the 41st year of Nang Wang, 274 before Jesus Christ. Our readers will note the spirit of Bodhisatoua says he received the Gospels, after which he laid the foundation of the Christian religion from spirit sources, he being a trance medium. The translation of Ramosat claims, however, that he received them from his predecessor Fanauchi. This evident contradiction is easily accounted for, as it is not likely that after taking so much trouble to suppress all evidence of the real origin of the Christian Gospels, that an attempt would not be made to mislead in this direction. The great wonder is that of the late day so much evidence has been obtained which only allows that at some point in their calculations a misstep was made, and that the evidence was overlooked, which made it possible that in this 19th century the true facts may be brought to light. The manner in which this last information was obtained is of itself of strong testimony in the fact that, though the truth may be suppressed for a time, it cannot be so crushed, and that it will not come uppermost at last. Our readers will do well to carefully study this communication, as it will shed more light upon the supposed divine origin of the Christian Gospels than any other information extant, proving that the priesthood, after obtaining them, changed them to suit their own views and purpose, thus perverting the truth to the detriment of all mankind. And this is what the compiler stated. And we find again and again that the Christian transmission is, well, the Christian transmission is the same thing with new titles. Same basic savior myth, same basic this. what is new about Christianity? Really, what is new? Please tell me.